Welcome back, aspirants. If you are gearing up for the TGPSC Deputy EO exam, you are in the exact right place. Today, we are diving deep into Paper 2, Part A, Unit 5, Mastering Educational Psychology, Child Development, Special Needs, Guidance, and ECCE. I have curated 20 high-yield, TGPSC-standard model questions designed precisely around the latest exam patterns, including statement-based, matching, and assertion-reason formats. Grab your notebooks, stay focused, and let's crack this together. Question 1. Consider the following statements regarding growth and development from infancy to old age. Growth refers to qualitative changes in physical stature, whereas development refers to quantitative functional changes. Development follows a cephalocaudal, head to toe, and proximodistal, center to periphery sequence. Rate of development is uniform across all individuals throughout their lifespan. Which of the above statements is or are correct? Correct answer. B. 2 only. Statement 1 is incorrect because growth is quantitative, while development is qualitative. Statement 3 is incorrect because development rates vary widely among individuals. Statement 2 is correct as physical development universally proceeds in cephalocaudal and proximodistal directions. Question 2. Match the areas of child development in List I with their respective milestone descriptions in List 2. Correct answer. A. A2, B1, C-4, D3. Cognitive development involves mental processes like reasoning. Social development concerns peer interaction and emotional bonds. Linguistic development spans from single words to complex syntax. Moral development deals with ethical reasoning and conscience. Question 3. Assertion. Intrinsic motivation yields deeper conceptual understanding and sustained engagement in learning compared to extrinsic rewards. Reason. Extrinsic motivation depends on external reinforcers which can undermine internal curiosity when removed. Correct answer. A. Both assertion and reason are true, and reason is the correct explanation. Intrinsic motivation is driven by internal satisfaction. When tangible external rewards are introduced, the overjustification effect can occur, reducing innate interest once the reward disappears. Question 4. Which of the following statements regarding personality and the self are correct? Carl Rogers emphasized the discrepancy between the real self and ideal self as a source of psychological distress. Trait theories of personality propose that personality is entirely fixed at birth and unmodifiable by experience. Self-concept refers to an individual's cognitive evaluation and perception of their own attributes. Correct answer. B. 1 and 3 only. Statement 2 is incorrect because personality traits can evolve over a lifespan through environmental interactions and intentional personal growth. Statements 1 and 3 are foundational principles of humanistic psychology. Question 5. Match the cognitive terms in Group A with their definitions in Group B. Correct answer. A. A2, B1, C3, D4. Metacognition is thinking about thinking. Divergent thinking drives creativity. Working memory manages temporary storage, while crystallized intelligence represents accumulated learned knowledge. Question 6. Consider the following statements regarding children with disabilities and special educational needs. Sensory challenges include auditory and visual impairments requiring specialized accommodations like Braille. Mental challenges or intellectual disabilities solely imply physical motor deficits without any cognitive limitation. Inclusive education advocates for educating children with diverse learning needs together in mainstream classrooms. Which statements are correct? Correct answer. C. 1 and 3 only. Statement 2 is incorrect because intellectual challenges denote significant limitations in intellectual functioning and adaptive behavior, not purely motor deficits. Statements 1 and 3 are correct. Question 7. Assertion. Counseling is a more specialized, personal, and deep therapeutic process focused on emotional or psychological difficulties compared to general vocational guidance. Reason. Guidance is broader, dealing mostly with educational and occupational choices, whereas counseling involves deep interpersonal interaction. Correct answer. A. Both assertion and reason are true, and reason is the correct explanation. Guidance covers a wide umbrella for career placement, while counseling is a specialized subset addressing personal and psychological issues. Question 8. Which of the following principles form the bedrock of early childhood care and education, or ECCE? Emphasis on formal didactic lectures and rote memorization of alphabet and numbers for toddlers. Play-based, experiential learning environment fostering holistic development. Recognition of the critical window of brain development occurring in the early years up to 6 years of age. Select the correct option. Correct answer. B. 2 and 3 only. Statement 1 is incorrect because formal didactic teaching and rote learning are pedagogically inappropriate for early childhood. ECCE emphasizes play-way methods. Question 9. Match the developmental theorists in column I with their core concepts in column 2. Correct answer: A, A4, B2, C-3, D1. Piaget formulated cognitive stages, Vygotsky stressed ZPD, Kohlberg categorized moral reasoning, and Erikson outlined psychosocial development. Question 10. Consider the following statements on cultural and individual differences among children. Individual differences are solely a product of genetic inheritance without any environmental influence. Cultural background shapes socialization styles, language patterns, and value systems which impact learning approaches. Effective educators must adapt pedagogical methods to respect and incorporate diverse cultural backgrounds. Which statements are correct? Correct answer: B, 2 and 3 only. Statement 1 is incorrect because individual differences result from the continuous interaction between heredity and environment. Question 11. Assertion: high intelligence guarantees exceptionally high creative output in children. Reason: creativity requires a threshold level of intelligence, but beyond that threshold, other personality traits and cognitive styles play a dominant role. Correct answer: C. Assertion is false, but reason is true. High intelligence does not automatically ensure high creativity, establishing the threshold theory. Divergent thinking and intrinsic motivation determine ultimate creative achievement. Question 12. Which of the following correctly characterize emotional and social challenges in children? Emotional disorders may manifest as internalized symptoms like severe anxiety, depression, and withdrawal. Conduct disorders represent externalized behavioral challenges involving aggression and rule violations. Social and emotional challenges have no bearing on academic performance or cognitive acquisition. Correct answer: A, 1 and 2 only. Statement 3 is incorrect because emotional and social difficulties deeply affect concentration, motivation, and school performance. Question 13. Match the styles of guidance and mentoring with their defining attributes. Correct answer: A, A2, B1, C3, D4. Directive counseling is counselor-centered, non-directive relies on self-understanding, educational guidance addresses academic progress, and mentoring involves long-term support. Question 14. Consider the following statements regarding memory systems in human cognition. Sensory memory retains vast amounts of environmental sensory data for a brief duration. Long-term memory has a strictly limited storage capacity, typically holding only 7 plus or minus 2 items. Encoding, storage, and retrieval are the 3 primary information processing stages of human memory. Which statements are correct? Correct answer: C, 1 and 3 only. Statement 2 is incorrect because short-term working memory has a limited capacity, whereas long-term memory has a virtually limitless capacity and duration. Question 15. Assertion: special schools should completely replace regular mainstream schools to accommodate children with disabilities. Reason: inclusive education philosophy advocates that children with and without disabilities learn together, fostering mutual empathy and social integration. Correct answer: C. Assertion is false, but reason is true. Modern educational policy advocates for inclusive classrooms where children study together rather than segregating them entirely. Question 16. Which of the following statements about language and emotional development are true? Noam Chomsky proposed the language acquisition device, arguing for an innate biological predisposition for grammar. Emotional intelligence involves perceiving, understanding, managing, and utilizing emotions effectively. Language development occurs entirely independently of social interaction and environmental exposure. Correct answer: A, 1 and 2 only. Statement 3 is false because language acquisition requires vital social interaction and linguistic input from the environment. Question 17. Match the psychological frameworks with their key contributors. Correct answer: A, A2, B1, C3, D4. Maslow proposed the hierarchy of needs, Skinner pioneered operant conditioning, Bandura formulated social learning theory, and Pavlov discovered classical conditioning. Question 18. Consider the following statements regarding ECCE program design and execution. ECCE centers should prioritize health, nutrition, and immunization monitoring alongside early cognitive stimulation. Curriculum in ECCE should be teacher-dominated, rigid, and structured around paper-pencil tasks. Pedagogy must incorporate storytelling, dramatic play, arts, crafts, and interactive group activities. Correct answer: C, 1 and 3 only. Statement 2 is incorrect because the ECCE curriculum should be child-centered, flexible, and experiential, avoiding rigid desk-bound work. Question 19. Assertion. Positive self-concept and high self-efficacy significantly enhance a student's academic resilience and goal achievement. Reason. Students with high self-efficacy believe in their capability to execute tasks successfully, motivating them to persist through obstacles. Correct answer. A. Both are true, and reason is the correct explanation. Self-efficacy directly fuels motivation, reduces anxiety, and promotes academic resilience. Question 20. Which of the following statements encapsulate key learning paradigms from Unit 5? Growth continues throughout the lifespan, whereas development ceases at adolescence. Exceptional children require tailored educational adaptations, including assistive technologies and differentiated instruction. Guidance, counseling, and mentoring form an essential support triangle for holistic student development. Correct answer. B. 2 and 3 only. Statement 1 is incorrect because development continues throughout the entire human lifespan from infancy to old age. That wraps up our intensive practice session on Unit 5. If these conceptual breakdowns and model questions added value to your preparation, hit that like button, share this video with your fellow aspirants, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss a module. Remember, hard work and consistent practice pave the path to sure success. Keep pushing forward, stay confident, and all the very best for your Deputy EO exam.